Shalom Aleichem, Malachei Hashavit, Malachei Elyon. Mi Melech Malachei Hamlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Malachem L'Shalom, Malachei Hashalom, Malachei Elyon. Mi Melech Malachei Hamlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Baruch Hu Imir Shalom, Malachei Hashalom, Malachei Elyon. Mi Melech Malachei Hamlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Tzidchem l'shalom, Malachei Hashalom, Malachei Elyon. Mi Melech Malachei Hamlachim, HaKadosh
Shabbat Shalom, everyone. It's so wonderful to see you all here gathered together as we join once again at the end of a week to celebrate Shabbat together and to celebrate our community together. We're so delighted to have you all here joining us for this special Shabbat. To borrow from the well-known Dutch theologian Henry Nouwen, who said, to paraphrase him, all great leaders are people of hope. All great leaders are people of hope. They live with a promise in their heart that guides them towards the future without the need to know exactly what that future will look like. Their hope and their vision inspire us, lift us up, and give us a sense of hope as we too look towards the future. Tonight, even as we have commenced a new journey, we will take a moment to stop and recognize those whose hope has made it possible for this community to look forward to new opportunities and to a very bright future. So many were involved in ways large and small in bringing together two communities, and none knew exactly what that future would look like, but buoyed by hope and a promise of what could be, they strove to ensure a bright and promising future for this community. We will hear from some of those leaders tonight, even as we honor all of them for their hard work and dedication and commitment to this community. And we should not forget that our leaders are a link in a chain of leaders that began with Abraham and Sarah, leaders who have continually looked with hope towards a brighter future. Hope. The word in Hebrew, of course, is tikva, as in ha-tikva, the hope, Israel's national anthem. It was a sense of hope and promise that inspired another generation of our people to create a new homeland for the Jewish people 73 years ago. They fulfilled the hope and promise of 2,000 years, the renewal of our ancient homeland in Eretz Yisrael. Tonight on Shabbat, which from the beginning of the Jewish people has been a day infused with a sense of hope and promise, we will acknowledge, bless, and offer gratitude to leaders, both old and new, who have inspired us, encouraged us, and enabled us to look hopefully towards a promising future. We begin now by welcoming one of our past presidents, Donna Shapiro, to share some thoughts with us and then to lead us in the kindling of the Shabbat lights. Welcome, Donna. Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom. Thank you for allowing me to say a few words on behalf of the University Synagogue. family, as we arrive at what is truly a profound historical crossroads. Our beloved synagogue has now officially become part of Wilshire Boulevard Temple, and a whole new chapter lies ahead for our community. For those of us who have lived most of our lives as part of the unique university synagogue culture, this development is bittersweet. Endings are never easy for us. Our tradition suggests that at such a momentous time, we say the Shechechianu prayer, thanking God for sustaining us and bringing us to this time. And I imagine we will say it at some point later tonight. But now I would like to take this opportunity to give thanks to those individuals who have been such a big part of sustaining this congregation and bringing us to this exciting time. Our University Synagogue Board of Trustees and lay leadership. The road leading to this moment has not always been easy, and this historical merger could not have been achieved without the tireless efforts of our lay leadership, who have worked so hard to preserve the legacy of University Synagogue while bringing us into our new and promising future as part of Wilshire Boulevard Temple. But prior to this particularly intense year, our University Synagogue Board and other volunteers have been hugely responsible for making University Synagogue the warm and loving Jewish community it has been up until now, and we owe them a huge debt of gratitude. Change is never easy, and I, for one, am particularly averse to it. It has been an honor and a deeply meaningful and wonderful part of my life to be part of the leadership and community of University Synagogue. That being said, I believe that this merger represents what will be a revitalization of all that is the best of what University Synagogue has been, and it will allow us to grow as part of Wilshire Boulevard Temple into a community that is stronger and more vibrant than ever before. For me, a congregation is about the people in it, rather than the name above the front door. Our people remain the strong and loving community we have always been, and I see no reason for that to change now that we are part of Wilshire Boulevard Temple. As we kindle these lights and usher in Shabbat, may God send blessing and joy to our University Synagogue leadership and all of our congregation, clergy, and staff. And may University Synagogue, now Wilshire Boulevard Temple University campus, go from strength to strength. I may disappear here. We'll just sit over here. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu lehadlik ner shel Shabbat lehadlik ner shel Shabbat.
Thank you, Donna, for those beautiful words. And I can't think of a better time actually to say Shehechianu than right now.
Right.
So let's join together. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam shehechianu v'kiyamanu v'higianu lazman hazeh. Praised are you, Adonai, our God, who has given us life, who has kept us, and who has allowed us to reach this very sacred moment. With that, we will turn to words with which we have welcomed Shabbat for generations now, words that welcome Shabbat since the time that the mystics of Sfat would go out into the hillside at sundown to welcome Shabbat into their midst. Lecha Dodi.
שמור וזכור בדיבור אחד, השמיענו אל המיוחד, אדוני אחד שמו אחד, לשמו תפארת ולתהילה. לך דודי לקראת כלה, הנה שבת נקבלה. לך דודי לקראת כלה, הנה שבת נקבלה. לקראת שבת לכו ונלכה, כי היא מקור הברכה, מראש מקדם לסופה, סוף מעשה במחשבה, תחילו. לך דודי לקראת כלה, הנה שבת נקבלה. לך דודי לקראת כלה, הנה שבת נקבלה. התעוררי, התעוררי, כי באורך קום יורי, אורי, אורי, שיר דברי, כבוד אדוני עלייך נגלה. לך דודי לקראת כלה, הנה שבת נקבלה. לך דודי לקראת כלה, הנה שבת נקבלה. בואי ושלום עטרת מלך, גם בשמחה וצהלה, תוך אמוני עם סגולה. בואי חלה, בואי חלה. לך דודי לקראת כלה, הנה שבת נקבלה. לך דודי לקראת כלה, הנה שבת nekabelah. And if you're not standing already, I'll invite you to please rise or even just sit up a little taller in your seat and join us in Baruch.
It's my honor to welcome Jeff Cohen to share some words with us. Jeff, welcome.
Thank you. Our family joined University Synagogue about a dozen years ago, excited about becoming a part of a local synagogue community in Brentwood. Over the years, we have so enjoyed the warm Unison community and its caring clergy, and we have made many friends. When it became clear to us several years ago that our synagogue was really struggling financially and the future of this wonderful community was in doubt, Lisa and I immediately took leadership roles in the capital campaign that was designed to eliminate the synagogue's indebtedness, and I joined Lisa on the board of the synagogue. It has been an honor to serve on the board for these past 3 years and to help guide us to this new chapter. While it is not the independent community synagogue that we had hoped would endure, indeed thrive indefinitely, I am so excited for what is to come. The union with Wilshire Boulevard Temple provides us with resources we could only have dreamed of. Vast capital, many generous donors who have enabled the temple to build beautiful facilities and expand its services, talented and warm clergy who embraced ours with open arms, and an excitement about our community and the prospects for our campus that in many ways exceeded our own. Our campus is going to be busier than it has been in many years and filled with excitement. My hope is that our members, the historical Unison members, embrace this opportunity and take advantage of all of these new resources, enabling the Unison community that Lisa and I love to remain a cohesive community within the larger Wilshire Boulevard Temple community, while at the same time welcoming our new, bigger family into our own. Thank you for allowing me to represent you as a member of the board. It has truly meant so much to me. Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom, Jeff, and thank you for your leadership. We turn now to the Shema, and as we do so, if you would like and are able, we invite you to please rise.
Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. 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 Shem Kevod Malchuto, Le'olam Va'ed. ואהבת את אדוני אלוהיך בכל לבבך ובכל נפשך ובכל מאודיך, והיו הדברים האלה אשר אנוכי מצווך היום על לבביך, ושיננתם לבניך, ודיברת בהם בשבתך בביתך ובלכתך בדרך ובשוכבך ובקומך, וקשרתם להיות על ידיך, והיו לטוטפות בין עיניך, וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובשעריך, למען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצוותיי, והייתם קדושים לאלוהיכם. אני אדוני אלוהיכם, אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים, להיות לכם לאלוהים. אני אדוני אלוהיכם, אדוני אלוהיכם אמת.
It's now my great honor and blessing to welcome Hal Reichwald, who has something very special to share with us. Hal, welcome. Shabbat Shalom. There he is. Hal, you have to unmute yourself.
Shabbat Shalom, everyone. I have a poem to read that I wrote called Leadership. But before I do that, I want to speak personally for a moment or two. We have been members of University Synagogue for over 43 years, and that's a long time for us to have experienced the love and affection of so many people, some who are with us, some who have passed. But I did want to acknowledge that there is so much history for those of us who have been members for a long time. It is somehow difficult on the one hand to embark on this new chapter. On the other hand, it is a new beginning. In that spirit, I want to thank Rabbi Lutz for his spiritual leadership over these last 2 years. You saved us in a difficult time, Barry, and I truly appreciate that. I want to wish you good luck in your next pulpit as you move on to your next new beginning. And thank you, Kerith, for your musical and spiritual leadership for some years now. And from a personal perspective, I'm so happy that you will continue to be part of our community. So here's the poem. And so it was, a year of perilous living and loss, a year of fear and trepidation, a year of heartbreak and misfortune, a year of challenge and appraisal, a year of peering at an unknown future. We felt the tug of our faith. We missed the warmth of our cherished community. We reflected on our adherence to the principles of life we cherish, and we sought strength of purpose from them. Reflect with me for a moment. If you believe in the future of our world, then believe that Judaism is the faith to guide us in these challenging times. If you believe in Judaism, then know that the philosophy of Reform Judaism and the principles for which it stands provides the best path to be followed. If you believe in Reform Judaism, then know that its bedrock is the synagogue and that the community it serves is its core. If this is what we believe, then it was our duty, nay, our obligation, to see that communal worship in our beloved synagogue continues to be nourished toward a renewed vibrancy and spirit for future generations. Our tradition teaches, through the example of our patriarchs and matriarchs of ancient times, that we often need to exhort those hesitant to lead to become those willing to lead, to move from reluctance to acceptance, to shift from the sidelines to the front lines, to provide the community with guidance when it sees only a desert of despair. Our synagogue leadership, past and present, said yes when called upon, said yes when decisions had to be taken, said yes even when decisions became difficult. Thus, our leadership lit the lamp. Our leadership showed the way. Our leadership provided the hope, and our leadership unveiled a vision of that hope. And so we must acknowledge our committed leadership and bestow our community's thanks and approbation of those who gave of themselves untiringly when the path to the future was not clear. Their efforts enabled our community to emerge into the sunlight of the dawn of a new day in our community's life. Oh, celebrate we must. Celebrate we must their dedicated efforts against long odds, against the fear of the unknown and change. Celebrate we must our determination to succeed. Celebrate we must our past as we look to our future. And in so doing, we reach out our arms to all and reaffirm our belief in the perfectibility of humankind, and thus in our belief in our God and in ourselves. Chazak, chazak, v'nitz chazek. Be strong, and let us strengthen one another. Shabbat shalom.
Shabbat shalom. Thank you, Hal, for those beautiful words, and personally for your faith and confidence in beautiful words to me. I am so appreciative. It has been a blessing to share this journey with you. Speaking of journeys, we now turn to that journey that we make, that hopefully leads us all to a place of freedom. Recall our responsibility to bring others with us as we too make that journey. The words of Micha Mocha. There are inspired seekers who bring us the fruits of their labors. Their minds soar to distant realms. Their eyes see what is invisible, penetrating to the heart of living matter. And the gifts they bring us are tokens of your infinite and abiding presence. So we now prepare to turn towards the tefillah. Invite you, if you would like to, or able to please rise. We will listen to these beautiful words on this page and then continue silently with the words on the next several slides. Invite you to pray those words silently to yourself. And of course, as we always do with the Amidah, to take a moment for your own tefillat halev, for the prayers and meditations of your own hearts. So now if you would like to and are able, invite you to please rise. Even as we turn increasingly towards healing, there are still so many in need of our prayers for their healing. So many unnamed individuals who join with those whose names we do know, those we carry in our heart, all of them in need of our prayers for a refuah shlema, a full and complete healing, whether it be that they suffer illness of the body or mind or spirit. Before we join in listening to the words of this prayer for healing, I would invite you, as is our custom, if you would like to unmute yourself and share the names of those you are praying for this Shabbat with us, or to place their names in our chat. We will pause for a moment while you do so before continuing with the words of Mishaberach.
Shulamit Katz.
Worley Feinstein, Tim Tuttle,
Myron Sklar.
Michael, what's this?
Emma Progolev,
Michael Plattis,
Eddie Sklar.
Josh Mills, Cindy Lederer, Roz and Sandy Weissman, Fred Block, Rabbi Morley Feinstein.
Lisa Landkin.
Sue Philpott, Mark Fingerman.
Cousin Brian.
Effie Sturm.
Pat Galvin.
Avraham
what an incredible blessing it has been for me to be able to serve this community for the last 2 years in partnership with these two individuals, Fern and Jen. What an incredible blessing it has been to share in your wisdom, your insight, your love and commitment for this community. It has truly been a blessing, and it is my great honor to welcome you to both of you to share some words with us at this time.
Thank you. The honor is quite mutual, Rabbi. The great Rabbi Jonathan Sacks said that we cannot live alone. We cannot lead alone. Leadership is teamsmanship. When I was asked to take on the role of co-president, a job, by the way, that nobody else was really clamoring for, I said I wouldn't do it alone. Jen, too, had the same response, and we have been blessed to have each other on what turned out to be a journey more wild than we had ever anticipated.
When we started our term 2 years ago, we hoped that despite some troubling statistics about the financial health of our synagogue, we might be able to work together to do some good for University Synagogue. Because of our efforts of our wonderful board and our past presidents, especially Hal Reichwald and Alan Golad, who headed up our Strategic Advisory Council, as well as our devoted staff and clergy, we did in fact make a real improvement in the sense of community at our synagogue.
We boosted that sense of community, wearing name tags, setting up a welcome center, sharing our stories, forming membership circles, hosting some Connect Us events. And we are on our way to better and better things when the pandemic hit. Partly as a result of our strengthening community, and certainly as a result of the heroic and exhaustive efforts of our clergy leaders, as well as Susan Rosenstein, our entire executive team, administrative staff, and our educators, we were able to continue to hold together during the lockdown. This was in no small part due to the tireless behind-the-scenes efforts of Toby Burkow and Hang Ho, Ellie Laycock and April Schaefer, and our devoted maintenance crew.
Even when the impact of a seemingly endless plague made it inevitable that we would need to take drastic measures, our leadership stepped up to look for any and all solutions. When the right solution for our congregation eventually rose to the top, our leaders, especially the merger committee led by Michael Tushin, Jeff Cohen, Abby Hertz, and Jeff Melvoin, shaped and shepherded it in such a way that our congregants could rest assured that they would be well served by the terms we were able to present them. Special thanks as well to Steve Miller, who was always willing to serve as a sounding board for us.
At our first board meeting, when we were discussing how to improve our membership numbers, we said that we wanted our members to feel like it was a community of friends, because it is much harder to leave a synagogue than a friend. As it turns out, we made many friends, so many of whom are on our screen tonight. So many of whom have been our lives for years, even decades, and in my case, just a few years short of a half century. Most of my life has been spent, as Donna said, in this synagogue. So we are not leaving. We are not leaving the building, and we are not leaving our friends. Although Jen and I are happy to take on the mantle of immediate past presidents, a title I have previously held before and relished, we are not going into retirement. We will both serve on the Wilshire board, and we both intend to remain active congregants, meeting new friends, but keeping the old.
We are so grateful to all of you for your help and your friendship.
And as they say, Lehitraot. See you all soon in person.
Thanks, Vern and Jen. We look forward to that for sure.
Yeah.
We, even as we celebrate new beginnings, we celebrated yesterday Yom HaAtzmaut, the 73rd birthday of the land of Israel. Just a couple of years younger than University Synagogue itself, actually. And so we will conclude tonight with some readings and recognition of this most precious land built by other visionaries who understood the need for special place, a sacred place to build a land for us and for the Jewish people and the Jewish community to come in the years ahead. Words of Abraham Joshua Heschel. Israel is a personal challenge, a personal religious issue. It is a call to every one of us as an individual, a call which one cannot answer vicariously. The ultimate meaning of the state of Israel must be seen in terms of the vision of the prophets, the redemption of all. The religious duty of the Jew is to participate in the process of continuous redemption, in seeing that justice prevails over power, that awareness of God penetrates human understanding.
Before we press play, I just want to say a few words about this video that you're about to hear, and to express my gratitude to Jeff Melvoin, who is always up for a challenge. These words, Bashana Haba'ah, you'll see the translation underneath the screen as Jeff plays and I sing the words. It talks about the year to come. Some beautiful words, some very beautiful words, and the melody that you all know is going to be the same melody, but the setting and the chords underneath are a little different than what you're used to, and they're a more wistful version of this, which actually fit the original story of these words. Because a truth about these words is that they were written by Ehud Manor after he lost his brother, who was a soldier in the Israeli army. And so they were written from this place of real loss and mourning, but with hope for the future. Ehud Manor gave these words to Nurit Hirsch, one of the great songstresses, of Israel, without telling her anything about the background of these words. And she wrote the most upbeat piece of music that you could ever imagine in your life, that people dance to, and I think it won one of the Eurovision contests. And but if you didn't know the story, you wouldn't know that there's some sadness too. And it reminds me of the phrase, there's a crack in everything. That's how the light gets in. And so even through a time where we experience something that is difficult, and I know, Donna, you spoke in the beginning about how change is hard for you. You're not the only one, I promise. Change is hard for all of us. Yet we have this immense hope for what lies ahead for us in the year to come and in the many years to come as we continue to celebrate as a community. And very briefly, I want to thank our lay leaders, not just for their leadership of this institution through all the difficult businessy kind of things that you had to do, but for taking on the spiritual mantle as well. And I've seen each and every one of you do that, and that was new to many of you. So I want to offer my deep gratitude for your stepping into those shoes as well. בשנה הבאה נשב על המרפסת ונצפות ציפורים נודדות. ילדים בחופשה ישחקו תופסת בין הבית לבין השדות. אוי תראה כמה טוב יהיה בשנה הבאה. אוי תראה כמה טוב יהיה בשנה הבאה. ענבים אדומים יבשילו על הערב ויוגשו צוננים לשולחן, ורוחות רדומים ייסעו אלים הדרך, עיתונים ישרים בענן. אוי תראה כמה טוב יהיה בשנה הבאה. אוי תראה כמה טוב יהיה בשנה הבאה. בשנה הבאה נפרוס כפות ידיים מול האור הניגר הלבן. ענפה לבנה תפרוס כאור כנפיים והשמש תזרח בתוכן. אוי תראה כמה טוב יהיה בשנה הבאה. אוי תראה כמה טוב יהיה בשנה הבאה. אוי תראה כמה טוב יהיה בשנה הבאה. בשנה הבאה נשב על המרפסת ונספור ציפורים נודדות. ילדים בחופשה ישחקו תופסת בין הבית לבין השדות.
Avinu Shebashamayim, O Heavenly One, Protector and Redeemer of Israel, bless the state of Israel, which marks the dawning of hope for all who seek peace. Shield it beneath the wings of your love, spread over it the canopy of your peace. Send your light and truth to all who lead and advise, guiding them with your good counsel. Establish peace in the land and fullness of joy for all who dwell there, as we say, Amen. We turn to the words of Hatikva, words which express hope. Not only this is more than the national anthem of the state of Israel. It is an expression of the hope that resides within the Jewish soul, hope which makes it possible for us to move through change, to move forward to new opportunities, to new possibilities, to places of new promise, the places that the leadership that we celebrate tonight has led us to and has made possible for all of us. So as we listen to the words now of Hatikva, I would invite you, if you are willing and if you are able and would like to please rise as we listen to Hatikva.
Nefesh
We are in the period that is called the Omer, the period between Pesach and Shavuot, as we march from our liberation in Egypt towards the receiving of Torah. It is in so many ways an expression of the hope and promise that tonight has been all about preparing and always looking towards the future, an expectation of how we can do and make the world better. And so we say, Hineni muchan umezuman lekayem mitzvat aseh shel sfirat haomer. I am ready to fulfill the mitzvah of counting the Omer. And I'll invite you to join with me. I know I can't hear you, but please join with me. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kitshanu b'mitzvotav etzivanu al sfirat haomer. Our praise to you, Adonai, sovereign of all, who hallows us with mitzvot, commanding us to count the Omer. Hayom esrim yamim laomer shehem shnei shavuot v'shisha yamim ba'omer. Today is the 20th day, which is 2 weeks and 6 days of the Omer. So we now turn towards the Aleinu, words that those who have always looked to the future with hope and promise have held in their hearts. That word Aleinu, which means literally it is up to us to create that world that we envision, that world where one day God will be one and God's name will be one. And so once again, if you would like to and are able, I invite you to please rise as we listen to Aleinu.
Aleinu לשבח לאדון הכל, לתת גדולה ליוצא בראשית, שלא עשנו כגויי הארצות, ולא שמנו כמשפחות האדמה, שלא שם חלקנו כהם, וגורלנו ככל המונם. ואנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים ומודים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים הקדוש ברוך הוא. ונאמר והיה אדוני למלך על כל הארץ ביום ההוא יהיה אדוני אחד ושמו אחד.
We turn now to a moment of remembrance for those who have been lost in recent days and those whose yahrzeit is observed on this Shabbat. We remember them all in this moment.
We begin with Shloshim, those who have passed away during the past month. Marianne Fenster, Marshall Gelfand, Doug Gerson, Vera Halpern, Barry Kesser, Louis Lowy, Robert Gordon, Yosef Mabubianfard, Louis Gerald Miller, Michael Portis, David Wolf, Dorothy Wright. On this Shabbat, we commemorate the following yahrzeits: Adrian Edelman, Irving Applebaum, Solomon Baker, Lillian Barbakoff, Martin Barbakoff, Ronald Barbanel, Abram Barkin, Jack Becker, Zach Bell, Elaine Berkeley, Dorothy Berman, Muriel Berman, Rochelle Bernstein, Milton Bloomer, Gloria Jean Brody, Janet Burns, Joanne Chu, Solomon Cohn, Frida Dueck, Cecile Amer, Diana Francis Eisner, Lillian Evans, Helen Feldscher, Joanne Epstein Feldman, Robert Israel Feldman, Sylvia Fox, Sarah Frechtel, Arlene Fredgant, Evelyn Furman, Rose Gaines, Eugene Galen, Peter Gold, Corrine Goldsmith, Florence Goldstein, Yetta Goldstein, David Goodman, Sylvia Gottenberg, Lawrence Graff, Lou Greenspoon, Burnell Grossman, Paul Grossman, Bernard Harris, Milton Hollander, Dan Indersky, Larry Kartingainer, Fayette Carpel, Irving Kay, Louis Kind, Sarah Kleiman, Evelyn Cosberg, Suzanne Krakow, Frank David Crevin, Edith Leonard, Pamela Lever, Alfred Levin, Ruth Levine, Alice Levy, Betty Levy, Helen Levy, Shirley Levy, Clara Lichtenstein, Joshua Saul Lobenthal, William Lockheim, Beatrice Lowe, Rose Mann, Sam Miner, Helen Morris, Richard Mosk, Dustin Mullins, Lillian Naiman, Charles Nevels, Melinda Notkin, Helen Orland, Marcia Flug, John Ressler, Phyllis Rushover, Ethel Rosenfield, Richard Rothstein, Samuel Roth, Rhoda Sarnat, David Schneider, Harry Schnell, Arthur Schreiber, Evelyn Schuschman, Rita Sobalski, Manny Siegel, David Siegel, Ruth Siegel, George Schechtman, Herman Schrager, Ben Schreier, Richard Morton Sloan, Herman Solomon, Herbert Stein, Dorothea Stokes, Rose Tarshish, Annette Trustman, Cecia Ullman, Irving Walks, Pauline Walks, Philip Wainman, Louis Wallace, Roni Wiesel, Jacob Winerance, Molly Daum-Rittrak, Phyllis Zemlak, Ronald Ziff.
As we remember all of our loved ones and hold in our hearts as well the names of those who have left no one to say Kaddish for them, we say of them all, Zichronam Livracha. May their memories be always a source of blessing. I invite you to join with me. Yitgadal v'it kadash shemei rabba, be'alma divra chirutei v'yamlich malchutei, b'chayechon uvyomechon uv'chayei d'chol beit Yisrael, u'ba'agala uv'izman kariv imru, amen. Yehei shmei rabba mavorach le'olam ulamei almaya, v'it barach v'yish tabach v'it pa'ar v'it romam v'it naseh, v'it adar v'it aleh v'it halal shemei d'kutsha brichu. Le'elah min kol birchata v'shirata, tush b'chata v'nechemata, da'amiran be'alma v'imru, amen. Yehei shlama rabba min shamaya, v'chayim aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'imru, amen. Oseh shalom b'mromav, hu ya'aseh shalom, aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'imru, amen. We turn from the sanctification of the memory of our beloved ones to the sanctification of this day, the joy and celebration of Shabbat. And as we do so, I am greatly honored to welcome our last speaker of the evening, who will share some words with us and then lead us in Kiddush, Eliana Feinstein. Welcome, Eliana. Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat Shalom. It's been a great privilege to serve as the president of Unity for the past 2 years. I cherish the community that we've built and grown over the past few years, as well as the amazing events we've had for our middle and high schoolers. Like the Greater University Synagogue community, we stuck together through the pandemic with a multitude of virtual events. I couldn't have done it without the Unity Board and our amazing advisor, Elias, who's a voice of reason and support. We've gotten Unity to where it is today, and I'm so excited for our community to keep growing with WUBD, Wilshire Boulevard's Temple Youth Group. Even though I'll be graduating from Unity this year, I have so much faith that our younger members, from bright-eyed middle schoolers to passionate high schoolers, and WUBD's leadership will continue to help our joint community thrive. I've loved serving the synagogue and its youth, and I look forward to all of the possibilities ahead of us.
Amen. Thank you. And we'll lift our Kiddush cups and join together. Eliana and Renata.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, borei pari hagafen. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kishon mitzvotav v'ratzav banu, v'shabbat kodsho be'ahava u'ratzon hinchilanu, zikaron l'maaseh b'reishit. Ki hu yom tefillah l'mikra'e kodesh, zecher l'tziat Mitzrayim. Ki vanu v'acharta, v'tanu kidashta, mikol ha'amim, v'shabbat kodshecha, ve'ahava u'vratzon, Yichatanu, Baruch atah Adonai, Mekadesh HaShabbat. Amen.
L'chaim, Shabbat Shalom. Can I impose on you for a minute? Would you like to lead us in Motzi as well?
Okay. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, hamotzi lechem min haaretz, v'te'avon.
Shabbat Shalom. I had a feeling you guys could do that. Thank you. Cantor.
So we usually begin our service with these words that are about to appear on the screen, and there they are, Hine Matov. But I thought that this evening it would be appropriate for us to close by saying how good it is for us to be together as brothers and sisters, to be together as brothers and sisters as we have been throughout the years, as we will continue to be, and also to welcome some new siblings into our midst as we grow. So, unfortunately, I have to say thank goodness for Zoom during all of this craziness that we've had. But one of the few things that Zoom won't let us do together is sing with our voices being heard by one another. But I can see your mouths moving, so so please do sing along with me at home, and just I hope you feel the warm embrace of all the faces that you see on your screen as we join in these words from the Psalms. Shine.
Shabbat Shalom, everyone. Thank all of you. Thanks to everyone who participated in making this such a beautiful and meaningful service tonight. Cantor for that, and Jeff for that beautiful, beautiful, amazing rendition of Bashana Haba'ah. Wow, just touched everybody's hearts. And Susan, whoops, you were there for a second. Thank you, as always, for the beautiful music that you bring to this community each and every week. We're so blessed, so blessed. So there are many things happening. Wow. I'll just let you gaze on this for a moment. The many things that are happening in our community over the next week. Actually, probably more than even is listed here, but we hope that you'll join in some of the great opportunities to learn, to meet new members of our community, and to, as we continue to grow and learn about each other.
Rabbi, can I add
Yes.
that on May 29th, on a Saturday night,
Oh.
we will be doing a Havdalah honoring Rabbi Lutz. And I hope that all of you will join us then as we express our gratitude and our hopes for him going forward.
Thank you.
Can I say a word, Rabbi?
Thank you, Fern.
Rabbi, can I say a word?
Sure. I have no idea who's speaking, but sounds like Effie.
Yeah, Effie, yeah.
Okay.
Shulamit and I have been members of the congregation for almost 60 years. And I've been on the board for about 4 years before Rabbi Freeling retired. So it's been a long time. I've had many positions. And I must say, I wish Shulamit could be here with me to hear this. But it's been a wonderful, wonderful years at the synagogue. Thank you.
Thanks, Effie.
We love you, Effie.
Yes, absolutely. Thank you. Actually, we're going to give everybody a chance now to unmute themselves, to wish each other Shabbat Shalom, sort of become our Oneg Shabbat tradition, to be able to hang out a little bit together before we all go to on our ways to celebrate